Mom hates my baby girl's name the moment we found out we were having a girl. I was thrilled. Naming her felt so intimate, like a way of introducing her to the world. After weeks of debates, my partner and I finally landed on Ilara. It was unique, meaningful, and felt right. We thought it'd be nice to include my mom in the process, so we asked her to pick the middle name. She chose Grace, which I liked too, but then things took a turn from the moment she heard Ilara. Mom made it clear she wasn't a fan. "It's different," she'd say, her tone sharp whenever someone in the family asked about our baby's name. Mom would proudly declare her name is Grace, completely ignoring Ilara. It started as a small irritation, but soon it wasn't just her relatives were calling to say how lovely Grace sounded. My baby's first name, the one we chose, was so much care, was being erased before she was even born. I confronted Mom about it. "Can't you at least mention Era?" She shrugged. "Grace is easier to say. People like it better." That stung. It wasn't just about the name anymore. It was about respect for me, my partner, and the choices we made for our child. So, I did something bold. The day I left the hospital, I changed her name. I swapped Grace for Maeve. When Mom found out, she was furious. "You ruined it," she snapped. But you know what? Seeing her squirm felt satisfying. Ilara suits my daughter perfectly, and now every time someone asks about her name, I say it with pride. The moment we found out we were having a girl, I was over the moon. Naming her felt sacred, like this was my way of welcoming her into the world before she even arrived. My partner and I spent weeks tossing names back and forth. Nothing felt quite right until we landed on Ilara. It was unique, elegant, and it carried this quiet strength I wanted my daughter to have. To include my mom in the process, we asked her to choose the middle name. She picked Grace, and I actually liked it. I thought it was a sweet compromise, our choice for the first name, her contribution for the middle. It felt like a beautiful blend of old and new. But then everything shifted. From the moment she heard Ilara, Mom's face tightened. "It's different," she said, her tone sharp and disapproving. At first, I brushed it off. Not everyone immediately warms up to uncommon names. But soon, it wasn't just side comments. Whenever someone asked about the baby's name, Mom would smile proudly and say, "Her name is Grace." She'd completely erase Ilara as if it didn't exist. Family members started calling me, saying things like, "Grace is such a beautiful name. So classic." I felt this growing knot in my chest because my daughter's real name, the one my partner and I poured our hearts into, was being erased before she was even born. One day, I confronted Mom. "Can you at least mention her first name?" I asked. She shrugged like it was nothing. "Grace is easier to say. People like it better." That stung. It wasn't just about a name anymore. It was about respect, about the choices my partner and I made for our own child. Mom was acting like our opinion didn't matter. So I did something bold. The day we left the hospital, while filling out the official forms, I made a change. I swapped out Grace entirely and replaced it with Maeve. Now, her full name was Ilara Maeve. When Mom found out, she was livid. "You ruined it," she snapped over the phone. But you know what? Watching her squirm for once felt oddly satisfying. Because this wasn't her baby to name. Now, every time someone asks, I say it proudly. Her name is Ilara Maeve. It suits my daughter perfectly. And seeing her tiny face nestled in my arms, I know in my gut we chose right. Mom still slips up sometimes, still tries to push Grace, but I correct her every single time, because this isn't about her anymore. It's about my daughter and about me standing my ground as her mother. Story 2. At my daughter's graduation party, she announced, "My stepdad bought me a car. My real dad never did anything." I smiled and left. The next morning, her college fund was empty, and the gift car got repossessed. My ex-wife has been calling non-stop. Chapter 1. The Toast That Broke Me. The backyard was strung with fairy lights. laughter echoing off the walls as my daughter posed beside her new car. A sleek cherry-red convertible wrapped in a giant white bow. People clapped, cameras flashed. I stood quietly near the grill, sipping from a plastic cup, letting the moment be hers. That is, until she stepped up to the microphone. "I just want to say thank you," she beamed to everyone who made this day so special, especially to my stepdad, Mark, who's been more of a father to me than anyone else ever has. He bought me this car, supported me, believed in me. She looked right at me. And let's be honest, my real dad never did anything. The laughter that followed wasn't loud, but it cut deeper than a blade. Even my ex-wife chuckled, clinking glasses with Mark like they'd just won something. I didn't speak. I didn't flinch. I just smiled and quietly left the party. No one followed me. No one noticed. And that was fine because they had no idea what was coming. Chapter 2. Years of sacrifice erased in seconds. I sat in my car for nearly 20 minutes before driving off. Not because I was unsure of what to do, but because I was letting the years replay in my head like a cruel montage. Late nights rocking her to sleep while her mother partied. Lunch breaks skipped to attend parent-teacher conferences. The time I sold my motorcycle to pay for her ballet lessons. Every scraped knee, every science fair, every forgotten birthday I still celebrated anyway. And now I was the man who never did anything. I pulled into my driveway, sat in silence for a moment, then reached for the locked cabinet in my garage. The one with the banker's boxes I hadn't touched since the divorce. Inside were every document, every receipt, every bank transfer I had ever made for her. Tuition payments, medical bills, the trust account I'd quietly built over the years just for her college dreams. She had no idea it existed. Only her mother did. And the next morning, it wouldn't exist anymore. I logged into the account for my old laptop, one I never upgraded, so it couldn't be traced through the house Wi-Fi. $78,446.82. All of it earned. Through overtime, freelance jobs, and sacrifices I never spoke of. With a few keystrokes, I closed the account. The funds transferred to a new investment account under my name only. Not illegal, just redirected. And the car, that sleek red convertible, I didn't buy it, but I knew the finance company. The registration listed her mother as co-signer, not owner, and the first missed payment had already occurred. The repo team was just waiting for someone to call it in. That someone would be me. The next morning, the screams came at 7:42 a.m. "Where's the money? What did you do?" Then another message. "Her car's gone. Are you happy?" I didn't answer. I just forwarded one of the documents I'd saved all those years ago. A receipt of the trust with the header for Emily's future from Dad. I attached a single line. "I did everything. You just taught her to forget it." Chapter 3. The repossession was just the beginning. By noon, my phone had over 30 missed calls. Most from my ex-wife, a few from blocked numbers I assumed were her new husband using burner apps. I didn't answer a single one. Instead, I walked into my home office, brewed a fresh cup of coffee, and sat back as my carefully laid plan unfolded. I wasn't done yet. At 1:15 p.m., I received an unexpected message from an old friend. David, a former college roommate who now worked as the regional director at one of the top universities in our state. He'd once told me, "If your daughter ever applies, I'll fast-track her file myself. You've done more for her than most parents ever do." So I called him. "Hey David, I need a favor, but it's not what you think." After explaining everything, I requested just one thing: flag her application. Not reject, just hold it for verification. He paused. "You sure, man? You worked so hard to give her that chance." I did, but she just buried me in front of the world and danced on the grave. Meanwhile, the car company had confirmed the vehicle had been repossessed and impounded. The news spread fast, and by evening, social media was ablaze with whispers. It started with a friend of hers posting, "Wait, didn't she just get that car? How'd it disappear?" Then another graduation drama already. The comments turned brutal fast. People love a scandal, especially one involving a spoiled girl who disrespected her father in front of an entire room. That night, I finally replied to one of my ex-wife's texts. Just one. "This isn't revenge. It's accountability. You raised her to worship money and mock loyalty. Now she's learning what that costs." By the time the sun rose, something incredible happened. One of her favorite influencers, someone she admired and often tagged in her stories, shared a cryptic post. "Watch how you treat the people who sacrificed everything for you. One day they might stop." My daughter saw it. She texted me at 8:04 a.m. "Dad, can we talk?" I stared at the message, and for the first time in years, I hesitated. Chapter 4. The message that changed everything. I didn't respond to her text right away. I wanted to. I'm still her father after all. But that pain, her words at the party, the look in her eyes when she dismissed me like I was trash, wasn't something as simple, "Dad, can we talk?" could wash away. So, I waited. At 11:27 a.m., she sent another message. "Please, I was just angry. Everyone was watching. I didn't mean it like that." Still, I said nothing. At 12:42 p.m., I got a voice message. Her voice was trembling. "Dad, I know I messed up. I messed up bad. The car's gone. My college account is empty. Mom won't tell me anything. Please, I need to understand. Did you do this?" Yes, but I wouldn't tell her over text. She deserved to hear it face to face. That evening, I agreed to meet her at a local cafe. Neutral ground, she looked pale. No designer bag this time. No stepdad in tow. Just a trembling girl who looked a lot younger than she did when she humiliated me 2 days ago. She sat across from me. Her eyes were red, makeup smeared. "Dad," she began. I raised my hand. Calm, cold, controlled. "No excuses, just answers," I said. "Do you remember your 7th birthday? I built you that dollhouse from scratch. Took me 2 weeks in the garage." She blinked, surprised. "You cried when I surprised you? Said I was the best dad in the world. I remember. Do you also remember when your mom moved in with her new boyfriend and I paid your tuition every year without fail, even when I had to sell my car to cover semester fees?" She nodded, tears now falling. "And yet on the most important night of your life, you called me nothing. You let a man who's known you for 3 years outshine the one who sacrificed everything for you for 18. I didn't mean it, but you said it publicly." She sobbed, now full in. I handed her a napkin and leaned forward. "I don't hate you, but I will not let you treat me like I'm disposable. You wanted to impress your mother's new life? Then let them pay for it. But college, what am I supposed to do? That's not my concern anymore." She shook her head. "I'll fix it. I swear. I'll get a job. You'll do what you need to, like I always did." As I stood to leave, she reached out. "Please, just one more chance." I stared down at her and said, "Respect isn't inherited, it's earned. And right now, you're bankrupt." Then I walked away, this time for real. Chapter 5. When her stepdad walked out. 2-3 days after our cafe meeting. My phone rang again. It wasn't my daughter. It wasn't my ex-wife. It was him, Mr. Khan. The man said, unsure of himself, my ex-wife's new husband. The one with the Rolex, the restaurant empire, the smug smile at the graduation party. I stayed. Silent. "This is Faraz. We've never really talked, but I was wondering if we could meet." That alone made me suspicious, but curiosity got the better of me. We met at a business lounge downtown. He was alone. No flashy suit this time. No watch, no swagger. Just sweat. He sat across from me and sighed. I think I made a mistake. I tilted my head. Which one? Stealing my family or raising a daughter who isn't yours and doesn't respect the one who is? He flinched. Look, your daughter. She's spiraling. She's angry at her mom, angry at me. And now that the money's gone, he trailed off. I already knew the car I repossessed. Turns out he didn't fully pay for it. It was leased under his company name, which was currently under investigation for tax fraud. The college fund. It had been one of the few stable things left in her life. And when I withdrew it and transferred it to a charity for abandoned fathers, it made the news. I'm leaving them, he finally said. I blinked. They thought I was a bottomless wallet. But ever since your daughter's tantrum at the party, my investors started asking questions, and the media attention. My reputation's bleeding. Your ex-wife mocked you for years, but I see now she was using me too. I leaned back, arms folded. So, your running number, I'm cutting my losses, but I came here to say you were never the loser in that room. You just had the patience to wait for everyone else to hang themselves. He left quietly. The next day, my ex-wife showed up at my office. Tears, screaming, accusations. You ruined everything, she cried. No, I said calmly. You did that the moment you raised a child to disrespect her father. Chapter 6. The final letter. She found in the attic. A month passed. My ex-wife and daughter were now living in a cramped apartment downtown. No more poolside brunches. No more graduation celebrations. The gift car was gone. The college dreams put on hold. And Fars, he vanished, cutting ties, liquidating his assets. To cover lawsuits, I was finally at peace until I got one last text. It was from my daughter. I found something. It's in the attic. A letter. Did you really keep it all these years? I didn't reply. She didn't deserve a response, but she wasn't lying. When I left the family home, I hadn't taken much, just essentials and documents. But I left behind one thing intentionally. A small metal box tucked in the attic labeled in thick black marker for when the truth matters. Inside were 4 things. A letter I wrote the night she was born, swearing I'd always protect her. Photos from her early childhood, birthday parties. Her first steps, her first scraped knee, all with me holding her hand. A copy of every transfer slip I made for her education, her piano lessons, her braces, her clothes, and lastly, a page from the court's ruling that named me as the sole legal guardian after her mother abandoned us for 8 months. I hadn't left because I was weak. I had left because I was finished. She messaged me again days later. I didn't know. I was stupid. I thought you didn't care. Another one came. I'm sorry. I really mean it. I sat with my phone in hand for a long while, but forgiveness isn't free. I typed back. I raised you with everything I had. When I was mocked, I stayed silent. When I was disrespected, I still gave. I was your father not by blood, but by choice, love, and sacrifice. Then I added, love doesn't mean never walking away. Sometimes love means knowing when to walk away. I blocked her after that. That night, I had dinner with my new family, my wife, a kind woman who'd never once raised her voice at me, my stepkids who called me dad without shame. We laughed, shared stories, and toasted with simple chai, not champagne. And as I looked around that table, I finally understood. Sometimes revenge isn't just about destruction. It's about rebuilding something so strong they'll choke on the silence of your success. Was this revenge perfectly justified? Tell us what you would have done in the comments below, like the story. Share it with someone who needs this energy. And subscribe to Lauren's Story for more jaw-dropping tales of betrayal and justice. Because here, every lie has its reckoning, and every betrayal finds its shadow. Stay sharp, stay strong, and stay tuned.